Hey guys, it's Oluvids, and today I'm going to be talking about my first impressions of Neo: The World Ends With You. I'm going to be going through the gameplay as well as the story, but I won't be spoiling the story or anything. I'll just be talking about how I think the story is so far, if it's good or not, how it compares to the original, and yeah. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get into it. Check out the Norton Secure VPN affiliate link below if you want to help secure your private information like your passwords, bank details, and your credit card numbers on your PC, Mac, or mobile device. So The World Ends With You is a series that started out on the DS, so it had a very different gameplay from what you see here in Neo. Originally the game was 2D, and you used the touchscreen and buttons to play it, and then eventually just the touchscreen on the phone version and all of that. So starting out with the gameplay is completely different. Basically in battle you use pins, and the pins give you powers pretty much. Each pin has a unique power that you use to fight the noise, which are the enemies, like those monsters you see. And so the battle system is pretty much like an evolved version of the one on the DS and the Switch and phone and all of that, but in 3D and way cooler. In this game it revolves around comboing, getting to a certain flow with your party. In the demo, at least, you have 3 party members, and each of them has their own pin, and they have their own attacks that you have to try to combo the enemy with all three characters, but not all at the same time, not just spamming it. You'll start off a combo with one character, and then when you see that circle that says drop the beat, you have to follow it with another character and keep that chain going until your groove gauge goes up, and then you get a super move. Combat revolves around combos and keeping that combo up and not doing the same thing over and over. If I had to compare it to something, it's probably going to be a weird comparison, but I'm not going to say the battle system is literally like DMC, but it kind of reminds me of DMC, how you're rewarded for not just doing the same attack over and over. You have to change it up a bit. That's kind of how it feels like with this thing, where you gotta change it up a bit. You gotta make some cool combos instead of just spamming one button. Which, granted, you could spam one button, it won't stop you from doing that, but it's better to do actual combos and all of that stuff, combos with different moves. So I really like the battle system. It's really fun. And it's cool. It feels really cool to be chaining together all these attacks and comboing with your whole party. And in this demo, there's 3, but in the full game, there's gonna be 4 characters. So it's gonna get even better as time goes on. And there's just a whole bunch of pins you can use. And there's 333 pins, which means you have 333 different moves that you can choose for your characters. So you have a ton of options, and any character can wear any pin. So whatever you want, you can put that combo on, and whatever works for you, you could put that on. I think that's really cool. It's super customizable, really action-packed and all of that. In battle, you could also dodge, a dodge roll kind of thing. You can't jump, but if someone's in the air, your character will automatically jump up to them. Of course, you can control the character, you can run around and all of that. If you already liked the gameplay of the first one, you're probably going to really like the gameplay of this one. And even if you didn't like the gameplay of the first one, you're probably going to like this one still. Let's go over to the story now. So the story definitely has a completely different vibe from the first game. The first game was very intense and scary and mysterious, and this game does have some mystery still, but though I think it has more mystery for people who played the first game. It's definitely a lot more chill because the cast this time who's playing the game, they don't even think it's really they're really in danger for a good chunk of the demo at least. They still think it's just some cool AR stuff, some cool little game they gotta play. There's not as much urgency in terms of the Reaper's game and all of that, and the Reaper's game is basically you gotta play this game for 7 days to win your life back, because when you die you get sent there and all of that. So yeah, in the first game it was twists and turns, people trying to mess with you, people trying to kill you, monsters trying to kill you. Immediately when you start the game, monsters are trying to kill you, and then later on, the Reapers are out here trying to kill you or trying to mess with you and all of that. In Neo, it seems like the Reapers kind of chilled out a lot. They don't try to kill you anymore. They kind of just help you out or tell you what to do. And I mean, they take being dead and having to win back their lives a lot easier than Neku and Shiki and the rest of them. And there's also the fact that the cast already kind of gets along. So the original World Ends With You, the cast, they don't really get along that much. Neku doesn't really get along with Shiki, Beat, or Rhyme. He doesn't like anyone, so there's a bit of conflict there as well. The one thing that did stick out to me the most that's different from the first game is that it doesn't seem like Rindo really has to learn a lesson right now, or Fret, or any of them really have to learn. It seems like the only thing they really have to learn is how to play the game properly, but it doesn't seem like they have to learn a lesson in terms of their worldview on life, which was kind of a huge deal in the original game. So I'm wondering if that's gonna eventually come up, or if they kind of already have things figured out in terms of their lives. Or if maybe Rindo already has things figured out, but he's going to try to help other people. I don't know. Apparently Neo is going to be a lot longer, so maybe it'll just take longer to get there. Definitely, I think that was, you know, one of my favorite parts of the original game in terms of the characters and all that. They all had to learn something, you know. And I also liked how like insane the Reaper's game was in the first one. Like everyone was trying to kill you basically, except for like one person. You know, like it feels like so refreshing when like someone's not trying to kill you in that game. You know, like when someone, you know, is trying to help you out in terms of like the Reaper's game and all of that. But there's also a lot of new characters in Neo, but there's still some returning characters too. In terms of our new cast so far, we've got Fret and Rindo along with the returning character from the first game. I won't talk about the third character, but so far, I think Fret's pretty cool. He's kind of like the Ryuji type character. You know, he's a cool best friend, outgoing and all of that, just wants to have fun. Rindo, on the other hand, is kind of just like done with everything. One of my favorite, you know, little details with him is that when he's listening to something weird, he looks at the camera like he's like, are you hearing this right now? You know, looking at the audience like, bro, what's going on right now? I always like that little detail, but yeah, like there's a pretty big contrast there. There's also a character named Nagi that's going to be, you know, in the main party, but she was in the demo, so I have no idea what she's like. I do like the new characters so far, but I hope, you know, they get more as the game progresses along. The returning character, I won't get into detail, but you know, he's as great as always. Really fun, really weird, just like he was in the first game, so that's pretty cool. The thing I will say that I do like about Neo is that it isn't just the same thing over and over. Like, it's not just like, oh, the first game but with different characters, you know. Like, it's definitely a completely new thing. New rules, new battle system, new characters, new perspective. I do like how like I have no idea what's going to happen in this one. I can't really predict what's going to happen. I can't be like, oh, okay, this is the Shiki type character. They don't fit into just like the same archetypes as the first game, so I do like that. I also want to add that the characters get a lot more expressions in terms of their character portraits, as well as actually having voice acting during certain scenes. In the first game, originally, it was like 90% text, and then there was some little moments where they had voices, you know, little cutscenes here and there where they actually get to speak full sentences, but I like that in Neo, you know, we actually get to hear them talk more. They have, you know, full dialogue, so that's pretty cool. You know, not every single dialogue box is voice acted, you know. When you get to those scenes, the entire scene will be voice acted, and that's really great. It gives everyone a lot more to do in terms of the voices and all of that, instead of just grunts and then they go home. As I said, the character portraits are more expressive and they have more of them, but they also are more dynamic with the paneling of the character portraits and all of that. It's kind of like a comic book, more so than just like a visual novel now. And I really like that style because there's a lot they could do with it. You know, there's a lot of cool stuff, cool effects and all that, cool dynamic stuff you could do with it. You know, some characters will take like more screen space than the other ones and all of that. You can do different things. It's really cool and way more dynamic. In terms of the presentation, everything is a lot higher. In terms of the Switch version, I did encounter some frame rate drops sometime when I started scanning. It wasn't like bad or anything, like it wasn't too bad, but like you could see it. Also, the music is really good. Like, it's right up my alley. It leans more into like the rock this time around. Like, it did have rock in the first game, but this one, like, it really goes into it. You know, like, I don't know why. It reminds me of, like, Linkin Park back from those days. You know, when I was younger, I used to listen to that. It reminds me of those, so, like, you know, I really jam out to the battle themes when I'm fighting. Neo is new. It's a very new thing. You're gonna see a lot of new stuff in this game, but it still will feel, you know, it will feel familiar. It's coming out, like, at the end of this month, so I'm excited. I'm really excited to play through this game. It's gonna be amazing. But, yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this video. I'll be doing some more The World Ends With You stuff since the game's about to, you know, the sequel's about to come out soon. If this game does seem familiar to you, like as a Kingdom Hearts fan, it's probably because you saw them in Dream Drop Distance, but definitely I suggest playing the original game, you know, and not just taking Kingdom Hearts' word for it, because you know the characters are always different. There's an anime too, but I still recommend playing the original game first, because the original game has everything. The anime kind of cuts some stuff out or changes some stuff around. You could try out the demo, and then if you like it, then maybe you could just go over to the original game, or you could just get the original game and see if you like it. Yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe, click the bell, and go, you know, take a look through the rest of my channel. You should find some cool stuff in there. But anyway, yeah, I'll see you guys next time.